For live streams, I'm Goku Z War, and we are here in Stationeers. We're going to be doing a quick base tour to showcase the base that I have now. I was building this one before one of the previous updates. There's been many updates since then, so this is what I had at the end of the last series of updates that I had when I was playing this game original. Let me deal with my hydration critical issue here real quick. I've got some water that I can drink here, so I'm going to do that. Then we'll just kind of take a quick run around the base here. So, starting out, this is kind of like the main lobby area of my base. I've got my main airlock over here. I come in from outside after doing work, and then I'm in here. I can take my spacesuit and I can put it on my little spacesuit stand thing here that'll allow me to store my suit. It also recharges my battery. It will clean out my tanks, my waste tanks, and fill up my jetpack in here, which of course has already been refilled because it was just on the sand before I started the stream. So all that stuff's all filled up, ready to go. We'll tour around the outside of the base in a little bit, so I'll keep the suit on me. Here we've got kind of the main work area. I've got my 4 main machines. I've got my auto lathe, my electromat, the atmospheric printer, and my tool machine. These are all hooked up with a series of chutes that spit stuff out right here in front of it instead of like shoots them off to the sides. It kind of keeps things a little organized when they come out. Got little stackers here that allows me to change the stack size of all this stuff. And of course, these are all Tier 2 upgraded machines here. Let's start over here. This nice dark room over here that you can barely see anything in is the was going to be my power bank room. I was going to fill this whole room up with batteries at one. I never got around to it. I never got to that point. I do have a series of like light switches here that allows me to turn off the lights in the main room here. So I can turn off my lights in here just from a simple light switch. Which one that? Oh, that one's the machines, right? So this one, like, well, I can have all these machines like already on, and then this switch here will just turn off just the machines, nothing else, no lights or anything like that. Kind of a handy little feature. So if I need to conserve power, I don't have to turn everything off. Back over here is my storage room. I have filled half the room up. I was going to add more over here. Got some trash laying around. I never got around to making a recycling plant either. Then I've got a lot of CO2 filters that I had never destroyed, a couple of nitrogen ones. A nice little storage area here, so kind of showcase all my stuff. This is kind of like the old junk stuff that I don't use anymore. And so I had some pipes and some backup CO2 filters and everything. Oh. Well, this is going to be fun. There's a solar storm outside. Lovely. I think it's a solar storm. Yeah, it's a solar storm. Yeah, absolutely a solar storm. This is great. I'm going to get to do a base tour during a solar storm. This is actually the first solar storm I had on this base. I've never had it anywhere else. I don't know if my air conditioners are going to be able to keep up with this, but we're going to test it out right now. Yeah, I didn't have solar storms before when I was doing this base before. All right. Anyway, on with the tour. In this room in here is my main furnace room, which I was in the process of building. So yeah, it's a standard furnace setup. It's got just your standard compression thing here. I've set up some IC10 circuits here to run the furnace and all the equipment associated with it. What did I have? I can't remember all the stuff I had on this thing. I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, furnace IC is here. This one ran a hash IC. Don't remember what that one was. Anyway, we won't go over those today, but you know, I did do some logic circuits to be able to run all these nifty little things on here. It's supposed to be a fully automated system. So basically, let me see if this stuff actually works or not. Let's turn these on. Well, there's no errors on anything, so that's always a plus. Did I forget that I have to turn on another switch up here somewhere? No. No. Nope, nope. Anyway, light switches here for running the stuff. It does look like my furnace things are working outside in there. My gas temperatures are good. I have a cold tank outside too. I'll showcase that in a minute. This is supposed to display... Yeah, there we go. So like if I want to make something specific, I can select it from this console here. And then if I put the appropriate ingredients into the furnace, then it will, when I pull this lever, I think here, now that evacuates the chamber. Flushes the furnace. When I push this button, that's what it is. Push this button right here. It will then spit out said item once the temperature and pressure is the correct setting for that particular item. So you can actually like customize it does it automatically. Like if you just push the button, it will take it'll take the logic circuits here, they just run that, and it will just showcase, you know, it will like automatically spit out the appropriate orders. But those fans in the back, there's two vents back there that basically keep this area pressurized so that it holds temperature for as long as it needs to. Like if you have it in there, even when the whole system is shut off, those things still run in the back, and they sit there and just keep the pressure on the inside of that room there. I've got damage to that glass. I wonder if I got more damage from all this solar storm. That's quite interesting. I've never actually had a solar storm. Wow, look at it. It's all like, it is so bright outside. It is unreal. My air conditioner's keeping up with it though. It's still 20 degrees in my base, which is great. That's what I have it set to. Okay, so yeah, we've got furnace room in here, and then we come back in here to the work area. And then back over here to the right is my atmospherics room. So like I've got my water here, I've got my oxygen stored there, CO2 there, carbon dioxide, sorry, nitrogen's here, carbon dioxide's here, my volatiles get stored there, and then I got a little makeshift fuel mixing setup over here. It's kind of independent of the whole thing. I got some more windows outside. There's my original capsule I started in, came from right over there. Anyway, on with the tour. I've got a little ice crusher machine here for collecting ice and all that good stuff. So now we'll come in here, close my helmet. I do need to turn on my suit. I forget to do that sometimes. All right. So we run this airlock because the pressure inside my hydroponics bay is different from the main part of the base. I keep this at a much higher pressure, but it is still breathable atmosphere in here. I can have the breathable atmosphere in here. What is my atmosphere at right now anyway? So yeah, we got 81% oxygen in here. It's actually almost to the point of starving my plants. I don't know how my plants are doing in this particular condition. Seems to be evaporating some of my water in the system here. It's a good thing we're shutting this base down and doing something else later, right? Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I got some food seeds in here. My little microwave. Basically, I was just kind of eating the potato plants as needed. So my microwave over here. I cook food over here. And then in here was my refrigerator, which apparently is not on. Oh, that's not good. Where's my light switch for in here? I wonder if that was that switch I flipped out there. That's interesting. Let me turn on my specs here. Where's my, do I have? Oh, something just shut off. Oh, No, what shut off was the storm. It just shut off the storm. Okay, so the storm is apparently over. Like, wow, it got really dim all of a sudden. Okay. Yeah, so the storm is done. Airlock's still working. I'm curious though, like why is my refrigerator off? I need to find my little I have a little sensor thing that allows me to look at the circuits in the base, but I don't seem to know where I put it. One of these bags? No, these are ore bags. They're not gonna do that. I'll have to find that because I need to figure out why my refrigerator isn't on before my food spoils. That would be really, really bad. Well, it's not like it matters anyway. Like I said, this base is going away. It was working before I did all this. All right, back through the door. I probably should have ate the food when I was in there. Because if I'm going to go outside for a minute, I got to showcase all that outside. We'll drink some more water. Because I was at only 52%. Now I'm full again. Okay. So now that the storm is over, let's take a step outside. We'll showcase the outside of the base and all the integral workings of the base. I have my little Land Rover out here that I built so I could move things around. I'll see if I left my thing in there. Nope, I didn't leave them in there. I've got a little fuel tank on the side over here. I have no idea why I put a fuel tank on the outside of this thing. None. For the heck of it, probably. I don't know. Maybe I was going to go drop this somewhere and blow it up. I don't remember. There was my original furnace that I started with out here. I just left it here. Very, very simplified furnace system with a simple valve on the side to allow me to evacuate it, but that would just keep the gas inside here. There's nothing in it right now. So here's my awesome plumbing system for the automated furnace. Got the cold tank there. I've got a standard waste collection tank there. That just holds like whatever previous was. And then up here we've got the volatiles, fuel. So it just pumps the fuel in there based on the system. I turn it on there and say I want a particular item. It just turns on these pumps automatically, pumps in the appropriate gas. It'll keep cold gas, throw it in there if it needs to cool things off. Doesn't usually, because we need hot stuff to make minerals and stuff. So we got all that cool stuff over there. We can go up on top actually. Let me show you the upper system. So these vents here, these are my air conditioning vents. They've run throughout the base for the different points for my for the air conditioning system. They just run the vents out to the various rooms. It's basically like, your standard air system. Got my solar panels here. It generates a ton of power. These are, of course, automated, fully automated. They automatically angled toward the sun. This is my air conditioner, the single one air conditioner that it keeps the entire base at 20 Celsius. Yes, just one. That's all you need. You don't need all these big fancy systems that all these other guys like to make. But anyway, so yeah, just a vent over here. This is just a radiator that just radiates the hot gas and makes it cold and then pumps it back through the system. And then air comes in here, air goes out there and goes out to the base and distributes the air as it goes. This one here is dedicated solely to my hydroponics bay. Keeps it at different temperatures, a little warmer. And of course, it's higher pressure over there. But still, just one needed for both. And it keeps the entire base cool. Very handy. As you can see, I like to use frames here. I usually have this all closed off, but I was working on some stuff. The white lines are for lights. Orange lines here are main power. These are high power lines, and then these ones are kind of just the input lines. The red ones are input lines. So they go running over here to the battery room, which is over there, which I showed earlier. It comes into there. Yes, it goes into the ground. There's actually wires that run under it to go for the outputs on that side. Yeah, so all this is the main part of the atmospheric system. Then these this pipe over here just runs over here and just does more ventilation. Now, up here is where I put all the air conditioning and electrical, mostly up here. I like to keep it accessible on the roof. But underneath the base, there's more. So I have frames up on top. I have the main living space in the middle, and then underneath it is where all my pipes go for my entire, atmospheric system. So I've got waste lines and I've got various lines. So black is the nitrogen and oxygen lines, and then this is the waste line. So the orange line is always the input to the system. This is where all the lines come and go to one specific spot. So they all feed into here, and then they get filtered and go to the next one, and the next machine filters out the other types of gas. And then eventually it ends up down here at the end where there's a little vent on the end here, and anything that I don't have accounted for in there that I want to keep, it just gets vented out in space out here. So that's that. This is this is my fuel tank. This is where I keep all the fuel that I have on here. I don't know how much I've got in here right now. I don't think I have very much. Not exactly how much that is. It's a little bit. I'd probably fill, a welder or something if I need it. I don't use the other welder anymore. I use the other arc welder, whatever it is. Okay, so then I've got my water system here. This is running the water lines going to the water tank. And then one of these lines goes back into here into the hydroponics bay, which is apparently not hooked up. Oops. Didn't ever finish that. Fairly easy. I should be able to hook that up if I wanted to. But I think what I was doing is basically hooking it up to the line, but then only if I needed water, which I don't need water because like these plants never seem to drink any water. It's electrical work for my. Those are the main machines there. And then the lines go up through here. This is actually a service conduit here. This goes between the lower deck and the upper deck so that I can send wire from below and above. There's this like spot here where I can just do that. And then over here is the rest of the. I don't think I can go down there. I don't remember how I got access to that stuff. I think that was just that's the furnace room. It's over there. It's just I don't remember how I got in there from this side. I think I dug this out and then just filled it in because I didn't need to get in there once I had those wires hooked up. So yeah, that's the whole base, basically. So what I'm fixing to do is eventually I'm going to reset my base here. We're going to start a new one. So that's what this stream is all about, is kind of showcasing what I've done before. And then we'll go and try to make this on the latest version with their new stuff. They've got a lot of newer things. I haven't really read over all the patch notes yet. But since I played about a year ago, I think, there's been a lot of changes to this game. So I've been mostly doing EVE Online, and I got some windrows that I've been doing lately as well. But yeah, I took my rover out. I drove a couple miles out from the base. I was doing mining over there, some ore over there. That's mainly what I've had the rover for. But yeah, so got this fancy little airlock with all the lights and everything. I don't even remember doing that. I know I programmed I programmed this airlock to specifically do things like that. I've got an IC circuit somewhere in there. I really would like to know what I did with my chips so I could showcase all the wiring. It must be in here somewhere. But I don't remember where I put it. I don't remember where I put it. I lose things very easily if I don't have, like, labels on them. Where would I have put it? There's really nowhere else to put anything. I must have like just like walked right past it like 3 or 4 times already. I know I had one at one point. Unless it's in one of these, no. Not in one of the pockets. Oh, maybe here? No. Not in there either. I thought I kept it here in my belt. Go figure. Could just craft one, I guess. Maybe it's in this belt. Nope, not in that one. Don't know. Go figure. Wait, there's one other place I can look. Hold on, there's one other place I can look. Get down here. I don't think it's going to be in any of those mining bags.
Hunger critical.
Oh, hunger critical. Yeah, whatever. I should have ate earlier. Let me go into the... Let me go in here. Look and see if maybe I left it in here by some weird chance. I don't know why I would leave it in there, but... That's the only other place I haven't looked yet. All I have is my mining sensor goggles. This is the whole thing I got. The whole reason I got these things. Wait, where's all the ore? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's all broke. Can't even see it. Oh, you can't see it through buildings anymore. I mean, that's okay. You're not supposed to look through buildings, I guess. This is the whole reason why I got these glasses. Because I wanted to be able to see the ore so I could find stuff faster. I'd really like to know what happened to my wiring here. I need to eat more. I need a potato. Create seeds. I don't need more seeds. Okay, maybe I need some seeds. I'm making everything by hand. Ding! Did I have any? No, I haven't started making French fries. French fries were always my staple food. I always had staple food for French fries. That was my fun stuff. Not on this build, though. The other builds I've had. Other builds I've done, those. Since my refrigerators are working anyway, probably shouldn't make all this food. Throat's getting kind of dry. Om nom. Yummy potato. Needs ketchup. I don't have any ketchup. I'm not Mark Watney. Well, maybe I am because I don't have any potatoes. I don't know. So, if you guys like this video, be sure you give me a follow on here for more content here. I'm going to do another stream on this probably tomorrow. And we're going to start building a new base. I've toyed around with the idea of doing one on Vulcan. Don't know yet, though. I don't know if I want to go back to Vulcan. I love Vulcan because of the seasonal thing. But it's so slow to build on Vulcan when you're doing live stream. So it's not going to be that interesting. Because half the time I sit there and I like huddle up into a corner of my little base. And it's not very fun to watch me just sit in a corner waiting for the sun to go down on the first few days of the base. I have a feeling my base is running a negative power because like I'm constantly seeing that red. What's the name of that thing? Can't think of the name. I'm trying to think what the name of that tool is. The little chip that I need. See if I can find out where that is. Here it is. Those. Where are those at? Are those in the toolmaker? Thinking. Little chip things. Where are those? Yeah, you're there. T-ray scanner. Yeah. Oh, I don't have any iron there. Hold on. Let me get some iron. Oh, I get steel. Where's my iron? Am I out of iron? Oh, there's iron. Little T-ray scanner so I can look at my. Then I'll show off all my. This looks so clean, right? Yeah. Wait till you see the wiring. You'll be like, oh my god. Yeah. Oh wow! Look at all the wires. You can't see all the wires in that thing. All right, let's see if we can figure out why my refrigerator isn't running. I'll probably need to go catch it. Yeah, dad joke. I got one single wire laying around over there. Yeah, where's the wiring? It doesn't go. It doesn't have any wiring going to that refrigerator. Did I like completely forget to wire my refrigerator? That is insane. Lose my hydroponics. I could tap in on that, but yeah, I probably should tap in on one of these. Let's go under the base to do that. Oh, there you go. I forgot to wire it up, apparently. I did a remodel of this base at one point, adding this whole wing on here for the hydroponic system, and I don't think I remember to run that wiring back up. Seems kind of crazy, because, like, I would have had no food that would have been that would have worked in there. Go figure. Yeah, red is the machines. Green is this little makeshift furnace I built here. And the brown was the furnace room. See, all the main lines, they all come from these orange lines here, and then they run down the wall into the switches here. These things are set so that these will never burn up, because these are only going to throw out 5,000 watts of power at any given time. So they just run out of this, coming into here, they run out of here, and then they come into here. This one is a secondary for just the lights. So this one just runs the lights in the room. Ooh, it's really dark. And then this one just shuts off the main furnace stuff, so I can turn that off in one go. Oh, that also kills the lights, I guess, too. Which, of course, I don't have my helmet on, so I don't have a light switch. So we'll just leave that on for now. I'm going to shut these on off. I feel like I'm running a negative power. I used to have nice little circuit, little windows. What am I thinking? Displays. That's what I'm thinking. I used to have like displays that would tell me like how much power I had coming in, how much power I had going out. Those are probably all on my laptop. Where is my laptop? I think it's in here. Wonder if my... Oh, I don't have my laptop. Oh, there it is. No, that's not a tool. Swap my batteries out. Let's see. I have a nice little library of programs here. Yeah, so I have battery management. It's a battery monitoring tool. I have a whole code for doing satellite controls for the trade platform. I've got the mining silo controller, which will basically control all of the like I have a sorting system. I can dump ore into a thing and it goes spit them out, send them over to ore silos, and then that incorporates into the furnace area over there, so that it pulls out the various ores in the right it'll automate that process too. So like I can literally say I want to make steel, and I select the steel. It'll go to the silos, pull that ore out of the silos, and dump it right into my furnace. Then tweak all the little knobs and make the temperature right, and it will spit out the amount of ore. I can also select how much I want, and it just basically does it all in one go. It's a really handy little program. Doing the trade platform, the pump controls program, that basically controls my ability to pump gases or whatever off of the trade platform. But I can do that automatically. Ugh, can't speak. It's late. I'm usually in bed by now, but I'm doing a test stream here right now so I can make sure my audio is good and I can see everything. Oh, and I can see that my base is like covering up part of the code here. Let me just move that over here for a second. Okay. I had to move it because it was sitting like on top of all my tools. I really don't have a good spot for my camera. I just soon not have it on, but Twitch kind of viewers like to see the person for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, IC hash is part of the system to select the various ore types with the furnace. This is the controller for the whole like ventilation room for the furnace, so that it regulates the temperature inside the furnace area there. But yeah, got some decent programs in there. We would get to showcase all of those good things when I do the next base, because this one is not. I'm not going to wipe this base. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not going to probably continue this particular build. Like I said, I think I'm going to Mars. I could do to Mars. It's kind of a second level type thing. Mars. I haven't done Europa in a while. I think the last time I did Europa was, wow, I don't remember when I did Europa last. Yeah. Anyway, that's the base. And if you like it, be sure you follow and like for the next one, and I will see you later, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. If you did, you know what to do. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.